Hey everybody, it is Rick. We're talking about the third week of August. I'm trying to count how many movies we saw. 4, 5. 5 movies to talk about, so relatively quick, although a couple of my reviews are pretty wordy for this period, this week. So we're going to dive right in. We have 3 things on physical to talk about, something we watched on HBO Max, and then the first thing we're going to talk about is a movie I saw in theaters with Regal Unlimited, and that is Free Guy, which stars Ryan Reynolds, as well as Lil Rel Howery and Taika Waititi. I forgot to write down the actress's name because I suck. So I'm going to flash up a picture of the actress now. Hopefully I remember that. I'm going to write her name down there so I don't feel like a total schmuck. And then we're going to go back to the poster. That's all going to be done in post. It's going to look friggin' awesome because I'm cool like that. I'm so full of myself. I hope I remember to do this or I'm going to look like a schmuck. So I wanted this movie to just be a super fun time. I wanted it to be just like a fun comedy action movie. It prevailed on that in so many more levels. It is humorous. It is sweet. There's romance. There's friendship. There's fun action scenes. The part that bums me out the most about Free Guy is that I did not take RJ to see it. Although I think our plan is to hopefully in the next week or 2 take him to see it. So I'll actually see this in theaters again. I enjoyed it that much, and I think RJ will absolutely love the film. So Ryan Reynolds in the lead role as Guy, who's basically a what do they call him? An NPC, a non-playable character. I'm so shocked I pulled that out of my butt right here. He's a snarky, sarcastic character, which Ryan Reynolds obviously exceeds at. Lil Rel plays his best friend, Buddy, and he's quite funny as well in his role. Actually just watched Lil Rel yesterday in another funny movie that I'll talk about in the next video, Vacation Friends. Check it out if you have not done so. It's on Hulu. And so yeah, action, comedy, heart, and a love story. Fantastic balance of everything. And Taika Waititi plays the villain in the film. Joe Keery from Stranger Things, he plays Steve, is in the movie. And it's just a real fun movie. A movie that families can go see. There's a little bit of language and violence, but a fun movie for like ages 9 and up, I would say. Lots of stuff happening, so the little kids are going to be like, oh, and then there's YouTubers who do video game streams, so they're going to be excited about that. There's voice cameos, there's physical cameos. The movie is just full of Easter eggs, and it's just a fun time. So I gave Free Guy a 4 out of 5. Definitely recommend it. A very fun watch. I'll actually go see in theaters again, and we'll definitely grab on 4K when it releases. The next title we checked out was, you guys are like, we saw this last week. It is Goldmember, the bottom, in more ways than one, movie on this cover. So Goldmember is the 3rd movie in the Austin Powers trilogy, Austin Powers and Goldmember, starring Mike Myers, Michael Caine, and Beyonce. And it is a huge, huge drop off from the first 2 movies. Definitely don't enjoy the 3rd movie nearly as much. The first 2 movies are just so funny and hold up so well. Goldmember is just not on the same level for me. I remember it being a movie that I didn't love a ton when I was younger. Me and my dad went and saw it in the movies. One of the few times I actually went to the movies with my dad. He wasn't a big movie theater guy. And there's just like a lot of fart jokes and over-the-top stuff that, yes, it's in the first 2 movies, but this was like on a childish extreme level, and it got to be kind of boring and played out. So but Dr. Evil is the highlight of the movie for sure. He's very good in the movie. I'm not a fan of Foxy Cleopatra. I don't like the subplot with Austin and his dad in the movie. So Goldmember, I can take or leave. A few funny lines, but that's it. So Austin Powers and Goldmember, I gave a 2 out of 5 to. Not one I'd recommend personally for you to check out. So we're going to put that down. Next up, a month or so ago, you guys probably saw a video where I was talking about In the Heights and this was my first Warner Archives sent over to me to review, and it's a film from 1986, and that is One Crazy Summer on Blu-ray, which stars John Cusack, Demi Moore. I've never seen this summer comedy before, but it features like a ton of 80s character actors. Curtis Armstrong, who plays Booger in the Revenge of the Nerds films. Bobcat Goldthwait, who was a stand-up comedian. Also was in some of the Police Academy movies. Went on to direct like God Bless America. Young Jeremy Piven. Joel Murray plays not Jeremy Piven. John Cusack's best friend. He's Bill Murray's youngest brother. And the movie is a very 80s film. I really wish watching this that Bobcat Goldthwait didn't always do his 80s annoying voice persona that he finally gave up on, because it really takes me out of this film quite a bit when he's on it. I love John Cusack, and this makes me want to watch like his other 80s era movies, that I either rewatch them or watch them for the first time. He has like 3 or 4 movies that all blend together for me. Hot Pursuit, Better Off Dead, One Crazy Summer. I want to say there's another one that I can't think of, but they all kind of blend together for me. And it's a fun watch for sure. My favorite scenes are probably in the first half an hour. There's a fun scene because they call John Cusack Hoops because he plays basketball. Like his family have all gone to college for basketball. He's not very good. There's a fun scene involving that. There's a fun scene involving his sister and 2 little girls who are bullying her and her dog. And just a fun time. I gave One Crazy Summer 3.5 out of 5. Definitely recommend this one if you have not seen it. The other cool thing is John Cusack's character loves to draw and animate stuff, so there's lots of cartoon animation stuff mixed in the film, but it's also very 80s in a way. So it's a fun watch. I recommend One Crazy Summer if you guys have not seen it. Next up was a documentary that I was really excited to check out. Bridget was really excited to check it out. And that is Woodstock 99, Peace, Love, and Rage. And it's going to be part of a series of full-length documentaries that HBO Max is putting out called Music Box. There's going to be a documentary about Alanis Morissette. Oh man, I forget the other ones. The Alanis Morissette one stuck out in my head, and another one really stuck out to me. But so I was curious. I was incredibly curious to check this one out. I love music documentaries, and this was a concert that 14-year-old Rick would have loved to have gone to. 30-something-year-old Rick is glad that he did not go to that concert, especially after watching this documentary. A couple of my good friends went to the concert. One person that I'm getting ready to do a fantasy football draft with the day I record this, the 29th of August, went there and told me how horrible it was, how hot it was, how he was dehydrated by the end of the weekend. So Woodstock 99, like I said, 14-year-old Rick would have loved it. You had bands like Limp Bizkit, Korn, Rage Against the Machine, Metallica, DMX, Kid Rock, even stuff like Dave Matthews Band, Seven Dust. There was just a ton of bands that I was into at the time, all at one festival. So this documentary talks about the previous Woodstock festivals, mainly 69, and how it's perceived as this festival that was all peace, love, and happiness, but there was stuff going on at that festival that people kind of like don't mention when they talk about Woodstock. It wasn't featured in the Woodstock documentary film back in the day. People died at the original Woodstock. That never gets talked about. Then they talked about Woodstock 94 and how it really went off without a lot of problems. There was lots of rain, the mud fights. They showed footage from like Green Day, Metallica being there, but it was a mix of like old bands and new bands. And then they talk about Woodstock 99, how they selected the venue, which was basically an old Air Force base, because the problem with 69 and 94 was they were sneaking in. They basically cut holes in fences and people were just flooding the gates. So there was an oppressive heat wave during Woodstock 99, like temperatures in the upper 90s with heat index of like over 110. This was combined with overly high-priced food, merchandise, water. Like water was $6 a bottle in 1999. Yes, you're at a concert, but seems like a lot of money. There was free water, but there were problems with the free water. People were bathing in the free water. It was gross. There was a weird shower situation where it was like tarps around water, and there was porta potties that were not working after like half a day out in the heat, and people were like thinking it was mud, and it wasn't mud. It was feces, and so just like a very weird culture time that took place in. Bill Clinton had just been impeached. It went on to become one of the most infamous concerts in history. They interviewed certain performers from the festival. And some were talking facts about the festival, and then others, Moby, were talking like opinions and how they had a bad feeling when they got there, and how all the rap metal and nu metal bands were to blame for everything that happened. I just don't disagree. I don't agree with that sentiment. Like, yes, it was angry music, but it was just like this like powder keg about to blow up in America. And I'm not saying anything that happened was right at the concert. There's some things that are horribly upsetting that occurred at the concert. But they put so much blame on Limp Bizkit, Fred Durst especially, Korn, Metallica, Rage Against the Machine, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, who, you know, they said fueled it, but they never blame like the concert promoters who were just looking to make money. They didn't blame the heat. They didn't blame the lack of water and food, the lack of sleeping facilities. There was nowhere to sleep. The security that the owners and promoters hired were taking bribes for people to bring in drugs and alcohol. Like, they blame it all on Limp Bizkit pretty much, and those bands. But yes, it was angry music, but they're not blaming themselves for something that definitely, like, it was just a total mess. I really want to use profanity here. It was a total S show, we'll say, literally and figuratively in parts. But you know, the movie is highly interesting. It's heartbreaking, some of the stuff that occurred at the festival. And, you know, I don't think we'll ever see another Woodstock. They were supposed to do one in 2014 for the 50th anniversary. Didn't end up working out. I don't think we'll ever see another Woodstock personally. It just has a bad stigma attached to it after Woodstock 99. And the documentary, though, Woodstock 99, Peace, Love, and Rage, I gave a 4 out of 5 to. Definitely would recommend checking that one out if you're a fan of the music, if you're a fan of the music documentaries, if you just want to see a insane festival and what happens when all these bad things kind of bottle up and explode, because that is pretty much what happened, almost literally and figuratively there as well. So the last thing we watched was a rewatch that's been a long time coming. I had my Instagram post typed out for this one for like a month and a half, and we finally got to watch it, rewatch it for me. First time watch for Bridget. I think this was the last Marvel movie that she needed to see, and that is The Incredible Hulk. This is my sweet comic hero steelbook. So this has been on my radar quite some time. Have not revisited this since I saw it in theaters 13 years ago. I'm a huge fan of Edward Norton. I'll start off the review by saying that. But I'm also incredibly glad that they went elsewhere by hiring Mark Ruffalo and switching up his character. Because Mark Ruffalo is definitely the better long-term decision for the MCU. I don't think Edward Norton's Hulk would have really been the way to go for a long time. So, a very fun rewatch though. I really enjoyed Tim Roth in this film as the Abomination. We'll see him again in Shang-Chi. When I'm recording this, Shang-Chi hasn't come out. By the time this has dropped, Shang-Chi's been out for like a month. So we'll see if he has a little role in Abomination, but he is in the trailer. The movie is definitely lower tier MCU. I want to say it's in my bottom 3 or 4 of the MCU. But that being said, it's still an entertaining movie, even though it's lower tier MCU. Just a fun watch. RJ really liked this one. I think he rated this 5 out of 5, which go follow Down the Movie Mini. The kid writes his own reviews, and for an 11-year-old, I'm impressed by some of the terminology he uses. He does ask me for spelling, spell check basically, but he formulates his own reviews, and they're very interesting. Like I said, for an 11-year-old, Down the Movie Mini on Letterboxd. Plug for RJ's Letterboxd. Give him a follow. But I gave this a 3 out of 5. The Incredible Hulk, it's a decent comic book movie. It's not great. I'm glad I got to revisit it. Don't know if I'll need to revisit it for a long while. So that is it, guys. That is everything that we watched the third week of August. Thank you guys for checking out this video. Let me shift to the middle here now that the pictures are gone. So thank you guys for watching. Be sure to check out the description box down below where you can find links to my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Letterboxd, where I rate and review all the movies that I watch. Blu-ray.com profile is down there. My Amazon wishlist, my eBay store, P.O. box, email address can all be found down below in the description. And that is it, guys. So thank you for watching. As always, until next time, who's down to movie?